Okay, so my name is Adnan Quazi. I work for Hamamatsu Photonics. I'm an internal engineer at Hamamatsu. So what I do is I deal with inquiries that come into our company and try and provide them with a optical component solution to whatever that they're trying to detect. So what Hamamatsu does is it's a photonics company. It deals with anything to do with the emission or detection of light. So sensors, LEDs, laser diodes, LEDs, those are the sort of things that we deal with. And so what we've come here today to try and show is try and actually provide those sort of solutions towards the medical and the automotive industries that are present here today. Okay, so specific to the healthcare market, what we're trying to break into now is the sort of wearables and point of care market. So anywhere where you're not in front of the doctor trying to getting a blood measurement done, but you can actually do that with just a normal device on your wrist or from a monitor on the side of your table. So what would happen is we can actually provide the components that would enable you to do this sort of sensing. Very small LEDs and sensors on a small chip that could, in theory, be able to allow you to measure, for example, the levels of glucose in your blood or the levels of oxygen. And those are the sort of applications that we are trying to now get into in the wearables and point of care market in healthcare. Well, that's the thing. The next big thing will be enabling you to actually measure more things about your body than what the Fitbit can do. The Fitbit might be able to give you some information about your pulse and your heart rate. What our sensors will enable you to do is get more information. So more components about what is in the blood, being able to give you more details, and that higher sensitivity and precision that our devices are that's what's going to enable the future generation of wearables to be able to do these sort of things. Yeah, this exhibition has been really useful because we've been able to make some really key contacts into the NHS departments and those sorts of areas, so we can actually collaborate with them and work towards an actual solution, a whole solution. Because we can only provide the components, the help that we can give is only on a technological side. So coming here was very useful to us because it brings us in contact with the people that can provide the other data, the sort of what is needed from the customer side, from the patient side, what is needed from, for example, in the automotive industry, what do the people in the cars want, what do people sitting in the seat in the F1 cars, what do they need in front of them. So that sort of collaboration has, being able to get that sort of communication has been useful for us. I think that more exhibitions like this, being able to fund and get companies actually talking to each other in these sort of environments where we're firing different kinds of ideas. I mean, for example, you wouldn't think that there was any sort of connection between F1 and luxury cars and medical, but there is. And these sort of events where we can actually that seemingly different types of fields where they can collaborate and actually talk and throw ideas at each other, these sort of events are what are going to pave the way for future applications. Absolutely. So the sort of background that is needed for this kind of an application is physics and technology, and there are definitely people there that are able to provide these bases. So my background is in physics. I came out with a physics degree. That provided me with the set building blocks that I needed to be able to specialize in photonics and understand the key criteria needed to actually build on that, learn through working and dealing with customers, so I could actually build up that understanding of the customers' applications and what they needed. So photonics in the future, as the basis of photonics is being able to measure different kinds of light. And so what I see in the future is anywhere where we can detect light and actually use that in different applications for the betterment of mankind in all kinds of different applications, for safety, for health, and for also technological advancements in information. So one upcoming technology is in the replacement of microprocessors in computers with optical processors. So using light instead of electrons in microprocessors. That could potentially enable computers to be able to function at thousands of times the speed of which is possible today. Through those optical means, that is what is going to be able to enable those to do that. So the components that are needed to be able to do that, spatial light modulators, high-powered lasers, Fourier transform interferometers. Those are the sort of technologies that are going to be needed to be able to actually get those sort of computing powers enabled. So that's the sort of development that I see happening in the future. It is different, yeah. So that is a different level, but it is similar. So quantum computing is using, would be using, I'm not an expert on the field, but quantum computing, I understand, is using electrons and quantum dots. That is an electronic process, but this is using photons. So it is a completely different ballpark. Instead of the actual, the time it takes for an electron to a quantum tunnel, it's just how much time it takes for a photon to arrive. And those are completely different areas of application. What I'm saying is that the technology is there to produce that, and there are bodies there that are doing research in that. So that is something that I could see would be coming up in the future for photonics.